All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Rising Stars Roundtable brought to you by TechChannel, sponsored by Broadcom and Empower Technologies. My name is Emma Pitzel. I am managing editor of TechChannel, and I am here with three of this year's Rising Stars who are here just to share about their experiences as newcomers in the IBM Z and Power Systems ecosystems. We'll hear about how they got started on the platform, resources that have been really valuable to them as they've picked up the necessary skills, and their contributions to the ecosystem. And they're going to give a little bit of advice to others who might be interested in starting a career on IBM Z or Power Systems. And I am so excited for you to meet them. So we will go ahead and start with some introductions. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Paul Bashir. I'm a developer too at Connect Logistics Services. I have been working or developing on the IBM I platform as an RPG programmer for about 5 months. And for the last 30 years, I've worked on Microsoft platforms as a network admin, desktop support, and as a developer. And my last 12 years, I've been at Connect. They use the IBM I for their warehousing system. So I've had, minimal interactions, mainly just looking at files and using it as a database. But now I'm really getting into the thick of things, that's for sure.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Megan?
Hi, my name is Megan Olson. I work at Fortra as a software engineer. I started on the IBM I platform as an intern here at Fortra 2.5 years ago now.
Awesome. And Katie?
Hi, my name is Katie Juhala. I am a technical support engineer at Broadcom, and I've been working on mainframe ZOS platforms now for 3 years. So,
great. Awesome. Well, great to meet all of you. So we'll just dive into a couple questions here, get to hear from all of you. And I really just want to start out by hearing how you got started on the platform that you're working on and what really drew you to the platform. So Paul, we can start with you again.
Sorry, you're starting with me again? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I got started after taking the course from Empower, programming an ILE RPG. And that was June of 2022. Started taking that course, attending their weekly meetings. And the reason I pursued it was, as of late, I've been developing front-end applications on the Microsoft platform. I was using the IBM I as a database backend. And the applications performed well in our main location where the servers are, but at our outside locations, there was a significant performance drop. It uses ODBC to connect, and with all the security and all that, it just got slower when they run it there. And since we use the 5250 screen everywhere, and people are kind of always on it, I thought I'd develop the applications using that on the IBM I as the front end. So hopefully eliminating the performance loss, because it performs really well no matter where you are. So, yeah.
Megan?
So I actually got started while I was getting my degree in software development. I took some courses for IBM I and RPG programming. We had a professor named Lashar Parker that was incredibly passionate about the platform, that was really encouraging to try to pull students in. She had selected a few students, me included, to attend RPG and DB2 Summit. So while I was attending that summit, I was blown away by the amount of experienced programmers who are willing to mentor other people and how passionate everybody was about the platform. It was just not something I saw anywhere else. And the willingness that everybody was like, come on in, we'll help you out. Everybody was so kind and encouraging. I was just blown away, and I really wanted to be a part of that community. I already knew that programming was my passion. and I wanted to have a career there. But I also think it's just as important to be selective about the people and the culture that you surround yourself in your career. So this platform like checked off all of those boxes for me, and it was everything that I wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear a lot of stories about that. I think that's a very unique element of the IBMI community. Mm-hmm. Great. And Katie?
Yeah, so for me, I have a little bit of a different background. I did not go to school for IT. My degree is in French, of all things. And I fell accidentally into this mainframe world. I originally when I first started my IT journey, it was through a nonprofit organization called Launch Code in St. Louis. And they taught basic web development skills, and go figure. I never used web development or anything I learned, but it was okay because it landed me my first job in tech. I've done everything from network administration now to I've been a cybersecurity analyst. And then when the pandemic hit, I was furloughed. And what then happened was Launch Code, that same nonprofit, was looking for people to join Broadcom's Mainframe Vitality Program. So I applied for that and I got in, and I studied through Broadcom's Mainframe Vitality Program. It was about 6 months of training, and then they liked me so much that they said, "You're hired." So yeah, that's how I've gotten here. I've stayed here because of the excellent mentorship. As Megan stated, it's a beautiful community here, full of really supportive people. And I think particularly when you don't come from an educational background in IT, having those people around you is invaluable.
Yeah, it really makes a difference when you feel really invested in by the people that you're around. So great. So once you guys kind of got started on IBMI or on the mainframe, what were, I guess, some of the biggest challenges when you were first getting started, first really starting to learn the skills that you needed to work on those platforms? And what were some resources that really helped you kind of overcome those challenges? Paul, you can.
Yeah, that's right. Start again. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, transitioning from Microsoft to IBM, it's almost like night and day. I had to learn a new, IDE, programming interface, rational developer, and then I had to also change my way of thinking, because developing on the IBMI, it's a top-bottom approach, whereas Microsoft object-oriented, and just things don't work the same. So I had to learn all that. I still don't know, or unfamiliar with a lot of the inner workings of the IBMI, but slowly and surely, not giving up. And but it's a lot of fun. So yeah. Now, along with Jim Buck's course, they have weekly meetings where we get together and we talk about problems and challenges and stuff like that. So again, that community is very open and very helpful. And, so we're always inundated with information, and we're learning new things. And again, we just get together and discuss problems. And if we are having an issue, we also discuss it and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I'm learning a lot, and I'm enjoying it. So it's good.
Mm-hmm. Always learning. All right, Megan.
Right with you there. It's like night and day. It was like exactly what I was thinking. Just simply navigating on the platform immediately was a huge challenge. In my first IBMI course I took, I remember some of the students were like, "This is not for me. I'm done." Like, this is, you either embraced that challenge of the night and day, or it wasn't for you. So I'm a person that seeks out challenges. So I was really kind of intrigued by the, like, wow, this is a whole new world. I have to embrace it and just dive into it. So it's been very challenging, but I kind of embraced that. So it really helped get through the challenging. the resources that were most valuable were really the people in the community. The same thing that drew me in is also what has been the most valuable thing here. The amount of people that are willing to help out is just amazing, and it really helped me succeed. I've been incredibly fortunate to have some wonderful mentors along the way. IBMI also offers a lot of good resources. I'm really good about help text got me through quite a bit, and reading into the documentation. I love that we can just go search a topic in the documentation and find a lot of what you need. Common has a lot of good educational material I've utilized. I also got into New to I has a mentorship program that I got into. So I've had a mentor through there as well. And it's definitely been the people that are the most valuable resource here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you mentioned just really wanting to be challenged. And I feel like that's sort of the mark of a rising star in my eyes, is everyone who's nominated. I hear it all the time. I'm not afraid to step up to a challenge. I love learning and growing challenges. Yep. So love that you mentioned that. Great. And Katie.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also agree with wanting to step up to the challenge, because it really is. I mean, for me to get into the Vitality program, really all they were asking for in terms of background was understanding how to navigate through Linux. So, and everybody knows too, it's still quite different from working with ZOS. So it is a very high learning curve, very steep. You feel like you have to know everything right off the bat. If you don't know where things are, you're already in trouble. So it's a very unforgiving at times. But again, it's loving and embracing the challenge of it. And I think for me, when I was learning it, I had to tell myself, okay, well, I don't need to know everything right away. It's okay. Make sure you're asking questions. And then also, it's just trying to relate pieces of it to things you already know. So I found that a lot of the issue with mainframe really is it works very similarly, but they just describe it in such different terms to where you feel like it's something completely foreign. And really, I think that getting over that vocabulary issue and learning all the acronyms that they throw out at you is really part of the challenge. But in terms of resources, mentorship, find a buddy that can help you. I also found Master the Mainframe that IBM does really helpful in learning how to navigate. I know they've rebranded it. I'm so sorry. I always forget what they've rebranded it to.
IBM Z Explore.
Yep, there you go. It's not as memorable for some reason.
Right.
And then also, if your company has it, InterSkill is great too. A little slower, and you're not actually working with the system, but it is valuable in terms of learning concepts. So.
Yeah. And so now I'm curious, as people who kind of have their foot in the door now, and you're really kind of establishing yourselves in these spaces, what kind of advice would you give to someone who might be interested in starting a career on the mainframe or on IBMI? And maybe we can hear from the mainframer first this time.
Okay. Yeah. Be flexible, because more than likely, when you're coming into this platform, you already have that Windows, Linux mindset, and you do have to be a little bit flexible with what you're learning. I find that the people that are most successful in this aren't the ones that are diehard Linux or Windows people. They're people that are like, okay, I just love technology in general, and I'm willing to give it a go. So my advice is to be flexible, don't give up, and then also take advantage of resources out there like mentorship or and any of the ones I mentioned previously.
Great. Megan?
Yeah, definitely said that well. I would definitely encourage people to join this platform. It's been really, really great. I think that if you enjoy the challenge, which I think there are a lot of people out there that, you seek that. We've got challenges, but we also have the resources to match. It's such a fulfilling career to like constantly have the challenge, but you also have the same resources to match it. So it's really fulfilling. My biggest advice would be to engage in the community. It is going to be the biggest resources, and everybody here is willing to help. All you have to do is ask. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to face the challenge. It's really great. Also explore the resources, utilize them. The platform has been around a while, and I find that it's kind of cool. Like we have a lot of existing resources out there, so take advantage of all of that documentation that you can find. I'm great for just Googling something, and then like, wow, there's like a lot of different options here. You can find a lot of resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always called a legacy platform, which I think sometimes people view that in a negative light, but I think what you're saying, it's really an advantage because there's so much history there and so many knowledgeable people. So
exactly.
Yeah. Paul?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a challenging platform because of the unfamiliarity for sure. But if you don't give up and you keep at it, it starts clicking in, and then it just is like a light shining. So my advice, well, I'm always pursuing technical solutions to problems. This was a solution that really fit. So if you're out there searching and you want to learn, it's a very powerful system. You know what I mean? Everyone says, there's a lot of people that give you support. My colleagues, Carlos, Sherwin, Marilee, they've been in this working on the RPG IBM system for decades, and they are very helpful, very nice people. So if you don't know where to start, maybe take a course somewhere. I would recommend iEmpower Technology because the way the courses are structured, I've learned so much in such a little span of time. I mean, like I said, I've been programming for about 6 months. I've already developed about 3 small programs. So, yeah, it's very powerful and it's very simple. But because maybe because I'm an old guy that's been working on Microsoft for 30 years, that this seems so alien to me. But anyone starting out, maybe it's not as alien as it is, but I don't know. But it's just hop right in, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So my next question it's kind of a big question, so I'm very curious to hear all of your thoughts on this, but I'm just kind of interested to hear, especially as a new kind of crop of talent comes in that you guys are a part of, a new crop of talent coming into these platforms. How do you think they'll really evolve, or where do you see the mainframe going, or where do you see IBMI going as new talent comes in? Paul?
Yeah. Again, if I have to compare it to the Microsoft system, it's reliability is very high. Again, performance very high because the GUI isn't very elaborate. And for business applications, which is where it's mainly used for sure, very powerful development platform. And I think it's not going to go anywhere. That's for sure. It is growing. I know there's new RPG flavors coming up soon. And for the newer, younger people, it's definitely the career to take. I know from what I've heard from other people, there's going to be about 50% of RPG developers are going to be retiring over the next 10 years. So that's going to create a void. And there's a lot of promise, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think that 50% stat that you mentioned is part of the reason that Rising Stars is so important, and recognizing people like you who are coming into the platform and really kind of shaping what it's going to be in the future. Recognizing that is really important. Yeah. Megan?
Yeah, I'm excited as he said. I think we're gonna kind of see a big shift, and I think that new talent coming in is kind of exciting. I think we're gonna see definitely a significant evolution in new programmers coming in and exploring what can we do with this. I think it'd be interesting to see if anybody tackles the user interface challenges. It's a big deal for a lot of new wave of people coming in. It's so challenging. So I anticipate new talent bringing a new perspective of like, this is challenging. What can I do to make it better? So I'm excited to see that. And as everybody talks about, we see rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, machine learning. So I anticipate a lot of newcomers coming in and experimenting with AI and ML, like how can I incorporate this here? So I think it'll be really cool to see a lot of new technology start to get incorporated. And I think we're going to have some cool evolution as we get new talent coming in.
Awesome. And Katie?
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing a trend of tackling that user interface issue. We've got things now like Zoe or Ansible, and basically making the mainframe more open and work more like distributed platforms. And I think that's just going to grow that trend. However, I would probably caution people to say, okay, well, yes, we do have new fancy interfaces now, but also still understanding the underlying mechanism of it is important. And I think even as people start relying on that more, having experience actually working hands-on with the mainframe without help of those GUI interfaces is going to become an invaluable skill. So we'll probably see more and more of that. And the same thing, AI is going to take off as well. But still, you're still going to have those underlying bones and that underlying structure, and you're still going to have people that understand how that works.
Definitely. All right. And one last question for all of you. After hearing all of your wonderful insights and just hearing about your experiences, I'm just wondering if you could sum up what being nominated as a Rising Star really means to you. So Paul, you can go ahead.
Sure. Well, it was something that was very unexpected for me. I'm honored to have been nominated and grateful for Michelle and Jim for recognizing me. I mean, it feels good when your hard work is recognized, that's for sure. And it's a good opportunity, I guess, for me to share my experience and hopefully encourage someone else to take up the mantle. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Megan?
Same. I'm so grateful, and it's such an honor that I would be nominated for this. It's really encouraging and validating that those who I look up to have been helping me like recognize that effort, and it's just so much lifting up here. It's awesome. It's just another testament to the amount of support and encouragement here. Everyone has been building me up along the way, and I really appreciate this.
Great. And Katie?
Yeah, I mean, they both have said wonderful things, and that's basically it, right? I mean, I'm honored to have been nominated, and it's really an indicator that we're all where we're supposed to be, and particularly for me, because I don't have that same background that a typical IT person has. I very much so deal with imposter syndrome naturally. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I have to offer when I'm only 3 years in and some people are 20, 30 years in? How am I supposed to get up in a room and talk to these people? And yet somehow I do. Somehow they keep telling me to talk to people. So I just keep doing it. So thank you. And it's really wonderful to be here. And I really appreciate, too, all the mentorship and people who have helped me along the way, because I wouldn't be here otherwise.
For sure.
Thank you. All right. Well, I just want to open up the floor for any closing thoughts, if any of you have any last remarks that you'd like to share. So you can kind of popcorn it if you want.
I guess I can start. You don't always have to be in development to be in IT. Like I do tech support. There are doc writers. There are product owners, product managers. There's all sorts of different aspects of this platform that you can get into. So don't think just because development might not be for you that you can't work on these systems. So I think that's something that people fail to realize, because when they go to school for it, it's mostly development work. So, but there's a whole slew of other things that you can do. It is really, truly its own community and ecosystem.
Yeah, great point. Paul or Megan, any other thoughts?
I think Katie made a great point about feeling like you don't have to know it all. You just have to be willing to like take it in strides. And I really hope that this is encouraging to others that are considering joining this platform, no matter what it is, that although it's challenging, like you can get through it and just take it in strides. And there's so much support here, and it's a great place to start a career.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like any system, there's the hardware part, and then there's the software part. So, and then there's the operating system, which is, I want to say it's complicated, but again, it's only because I'm unfamiliar with it. So, but there's a lot to manage there, that's for sure, especially when it comes to security and stuff like that, and in this day and age. So, yeah. Like any platform, find your passion and work on it. So,
yeah. Well, great. All right. Well, that concludes our 2023 TechChannel Rising Stars Roundtable. And I just want to say thank you to Paul, Megan, and Katie just for sharing your insights and sharing your advice. And then also a big thank you to Broadcom and Empower for sponsoring this year's Rising Stars initiative. Thank you once again to our wonderful panelists for showing us the value of just investing in education and training up a new crop of talent. Thank you to everyone who nominated a Rising Star, to all of our Rising Stars who weren't able to participate in the roundtable. We still really value your insights, and we're so grateful that you got to be a part of this year's Rising Stars initiative. Thank you to everyone who nominated a Rising Star and who is devoted to mentoring and just teaching this new generation of talent. The work that you do is really invaluable. And just thank you again to all of our viewers for just continuing to support the Rising Stars initiative every year. So that will conclude our roundtable for today. So thank you for watching.